Bob's a Hall of Fame speaker. He's one of the leading authorities on influence and referral marketing. Years ago, was it 1994? You wrote Endless Referrals, I think.
Yeah, I think that's when it was first published. Yeah.
And then that led to a series of books on a go-giver philosophy that we'll get into here. Combined, his books have sold well over 1 million copies. Top 25 list of CEO best books to read. Inc. Number 10 on the Inc. magazine most motivational books ever written is the Go-Giver. And I know we're going to get into a lot of that stuff. And then I know a little bit on the personal side. I know you're super passionate. You're on the board of directors for Furry Friends Adoption and Clinic in Jupiter, Florida. And among, like you just said a minute ago, just being a really nice guy. So, so guys, type in the chat box real quick, just a welcome for Bob, and then where you're at in the country right now. So what I'm going to do is I just want to kind of set the stage a little bit, give people some context in case they're not familiar. But here's a snapshot, and Bob, I don't know if you can see it because I'm sharing my screen, and your face is probably.
Unfortunately, I messed that up. Okay. That's my fault, Tom.
Not a big deal. But right now, there's a picture of all 4 of your Go-Giver books here, and it started originally with the Go-Giver, which was a story about, or a business parable, call it that, and so what I wanted to do is just take the first part here and give a flyby or a framework or what it means to really be a go-giver. What does that mean to you? Why did you guys write the book? And then I have a couple, I'll kind of poke at a couple things there. So.
Sure. Well, the basic premise is really very much how you teach business, and that is simply that shifting your focus from getting to giving. And when we say giving in this context, we simply mean constantly and consistently providing value to others, understanding that not only is that a pleasant way of doing business, it's the most financially profitable way of doing business as well. I'll often, when I speak to a sales audience, to sales convention, I'll just first ask the question, how many of you would agree with the following statement? Nobody's going to do business with you because you have a quota to meet, right? Mm. And we all laugh because we know that's absolutely not the reason why anyone's going to do business with us. They're also not going to do business with you because you need the money. And they're not even going to do business with you because you're a really nice person who believes in what you do. They're going to do business with you only because they believe they will be better off by doing so than by not doing so. And in the basically free market-based economy in which most of us operate, when I say free market, I simply mean no one is forced to do business with you, or no one's forced to do business with anyone else. And so in that type of economy, then, the only way we can bring in new business is by communicating to people that they're going to come away better off after doing business with us than they were before. In fact, the main characteristic of a market-based sale is that there are always 2 profits: the buyer profits and the seller profits, because each of them comes away better off after the transaction than they were before it.
So in the original Go-Giver, you shared 5 laws of success, and I have them on the screen right here for everybody to see them, just so you know. I know you're very familiar with them, but and actually you called them the 5 stratospheric laws of success, not just laws of success. So give us a rundown on what each of these mean to you and how we can apply them in our companies.
Sure. Well, the first one is the law of value, which says your true worth in the business sense. Your true worth is determined by how much more you give in value than you take in payment, which sounds, when you first hear it, it sounds kind of counterintuitive, right? I mean, give more in value than I take in payment. Sounds like, how am I going to survive in my business, never mind thrive? And to understand this, we simply need to understand the difference between price and value. Price is a dollar amount. It's a dollar figure. It's finite. It is what it is. Value, on the other hand, is the relative worth or desirability of a thing to the end user or beholder. In other words, what is it about this thing, this product, service, concept, idea, what have you, that brings with it so much worth or value to someone that they will willingly exchange, in this case, their money for it, and be glad they did. Feel very grateful that they did, while you, of course, make a very healthy profit. Now, outside of your business, I would use an example that we can all relate to. Let's say you hire an accountant to do your tax returns, right? And they charge you a net round figure, $1,000. That's their fee, or literally their price, $1,000. But what value do they provide to you in return that makes this so worthwhile for you? Well, through their hard work, through their diligence, through their focus on you and bringing value to you and getting to know your business and asking you the right questions and totally caring about bringing you an immense experience. Well, they're able to, first of all, save you $5,000 in taxes. They save you countless hours of time, freeing you up to be more productive. And they provide you and your family with the security and the peace of mind of knowing it was done correctly. So what we see here is that, again, while price is finite, value can be both concrete in terms of that $5,000 savings, but it can also be conceptual in terms of that peace of mind, which probably holds more value to you than even the $5,000 savings. So
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that makes me think of, in the home improvement industry here, we often will go out into a sales situation. And one of the mistakes a lot of contractors will make is we go out there and we barf all the things that we think are really important to people, instead of asking great questions, shutting our mouths, and understanding what the value is to the actual person that invited us in.
Yeah. Let's talk about that for a moment, because it is so very important. Okay. First, just understanding what selling is. I mean, keeping it very simple. Simply this: selling is discovering what the other person wants, needs, or desires, and helping them to get it. The challenge with most of us, and we've all done this, is that as human beings, we tend to operate from a certain set of beliefs. And we believe that the way we see the world is the way most other people see the world. So what we find to be of value about our products and services, we believe the other person would naturally find valuable about it. And that's not true. See, when it comes to value, and you alluded to this, value is always in the eyes of the beholder. It's not what we find valuable about our product or service. It's what we think they should find valuable.
Yeah.
It's what they do. This is why it's so important to focus on that other person. This accountant who did such a great job for you, okay, and made a really hefty profit, because remember, you came away feeling great as a result because he gave you a lot more in value than what you paid for. But obviously, it's very worthwhile to him to charge $1,000 for doing that. He made a very healthy profit, which he should. But he did this not because his focus was on the money. It's because his focus was on bringing you extreme value. This is why we say that money is simply an echo of value. Money is an echo of value. It's the thunder to value's lightning, which means the focus must be on the value. That's the focus. The money you receive is a very natural and direct result of the value you've provided. As a salesperson, the way you're going to communicate value is basically on two different levels. And can we take a moment to speak on that?
Yep.
Okay. First, it's through the questions you ask. Because the first thing we've got to do is, remember, discover what they want. How do we do that? Well, we ask questions. We don't assume that we know. We ask questions, and then we listen, and we listen not just kind of to hear them and be able to come back with, what's going to help sell the deal. We listen with the purpose of understanding and clarifying and taking that to the next level, and really, and it's only after we know what they want, need, and desire that we're in a position to match the benefits of our product or service with what they want. That's one way of providing value. But remember too, that in today's world, whether we're talking about an accountant or a car or legal services or